All right, you guys, Nick here with Graveyard Performance. Today we're going to be showing you how to upload maps on your split-second controller for tuning, as well as what you are going to need in order to test and upload these maps. The tools you need are very simple. We're going to show you exactly what you need, where to get them, and how quick you can do this. All right, you guys, so when you first order your split-second controller, these are going to be the things that you get. It's going to be, obviously, your full split-second AIC1 V4H. You're going to get a disc. This is going to contain the R4 management software on here, and then the instructions on how to wire it up. For tools, you need a handy-dandy screwdriver to open up the plate on top of the split-second right here. And then you will need a serial adapter cable, and you can use this one here. This is what we recommend, is the Sabrent. We haven't had any issues with it. It's been the easiest to find on our COM port, as well as it's been the most reliable. Plus it's really long, so that way if you need to sit in your car and find all the data, measure the data off your access port while you are adjusting anything, you're able to do that. So that is what we recommend. This is all that's really needed in terms of getting a new file onto your split-second controller. So let's go ahead and get to step one of uploading a map on your new split-second, and we'll go from there. First step is going to be removing the top cover from your split-second controller. Second step is going to be installing the software onto your computer, which we'll go over the difficulties on that here shortly, but let's get the cover off and then we'll go from there. Once you have the cover off entirely, you are going to see that there's an exposed serial port on there. Now, this controller is waterproof, so anything that does come in is going to be sealed, any type of outside weather conditions and stuff like that. So now that we are at this point, second step is going to be software. So like we said, you can put this disc into your computer. Obviously, you're going to need a laptop or some type of external device that'll allow you to put a CD into a laptop. The R4 software is kind of Stone Age. It only works with Windows 10. Now, on the split-second website, they do have information on how to get that to work with Windows 11. Kind of guide there. It is a little bit hit or miss though, so just keep that in mind. Now, moving over to the software itself, you're going to be able to see here, it is a very small program. It is nothing crazy, very simple. So now that we have R4 downloaded and open, our serial port onto our split-second, very simple. It is as easy as just plugging it in. And then from there, we're going to plug the other side into our computer. Step number 3 is going to be unplugging your injectors. The first thing that you're going to do when you get a split-second map from your tuner is you are going to have a test map, and then you are going to have your actual map. The reason that we have a test map is we want to make sure that your injectors are wired correctly, the split-second is wired correctly, and it is reading the voltage to spray these injectors. So when the car is just idling, we're going to have these unplugged on our test map. As soon as we plug in the injector, we should hear the car kind of bog down and see AFRs go rich. That'll let us know that the split-second is in fact working, and it is going to put the amount of fuel that we need into our intake manifold. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and we are going to disconnect the port injection plugs from these injectors. We are running the Alpha Injection Clinic 1000 cc's with our B&R S5. We are cooking on this turbo, to say the least, about 33 pounds. So this is providing us the fuel we need, and the split-second is controlling all of it. So let's go ahead and show you guys how to upload the split-second controller maps onto your split-second, so that way everything works in conjunction with each other to get you the best fuel. So once you have your split-second software uploaded, what you're going to do is you're going to go to File. You want to click on Open Customer. New Customer would be if you're building your own map. Open Customer is to open up a map for what your tuner has built for you. So we're going to go down. You can see today we got our newest map from PD Tuning, but last week we downloaded our port injection map. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you what that port injection map does. You're going to select it, hit open. Then you need to find your COM port. Now, in order to find your COM port, so you're going to come into your search bar and you're going to search Device Manager. You'll pull that up. We should be COM port 4, but you'll see here there's a tab that says Ports, Comms, and LPT. So we're going to open that up, and it shows that our USB serial port is COM4, right? So what we're going to do is on the connect to ECU side, we're going to come down to COM4. Your key does need to be on, car should not be running. So we're going to connect that. So now we're connected. It has the injection test map loaded up onto the split second software, not your split second yet. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up to maps and click on fuel maps. What this is going to do is, with this being a test map, you can see right here, this is fully loaded. So it is going to spray as soon as we turn the car on, 0.02 volts. So now we're going to come over to the second one from the left. It says write data to the ECU. We're going to hit that. It's going to say make sure that the engine is not running before you continue. Are you sure? Yes. This is going to go through and it's going to write our ECU data for the split second controller. Takes about 2 minutes to get that all completed, but now we have our test map completely uploaded to the ECU. What we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and start the car. Now once it's out of a cold start, we should be sitting right in this area. Around here, you can see that it's moving on the voltage, but it's going to calm down. It's going to move into this area. Now, this is basically saying how much fuel is going to spray in between these voltage ranges. And we have Jonah out there. He's going to plug in some of the injectors for us. We're going to have him do a couple injectors, and we're going to show you what happens up here when you plug in the injector. So, looking at the access port, plug cylinder 1 in. Unplug it. So you can see how rich it went. It's killing it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to quick tap a cylinder and it's going to run rich. And that shows us that the port injection is figuring itself out. It's spraying in that cylinder. Next cylinder, cylinder 2. We're going to do a quick touch on each injector. You can see it drops down to 12 and that's going to come back up. That tells us that it's spraying. Cylinder 3. So you can see it drops down. You can see the engine will run a little bit different. Cylinder 4. And that's what we're looking for, is to see that it's going down into that 12 to 13-ish range. We are just barely tapping these injectors and letting them spray such a small amount of fuel, but this is just confirming that our port injection is in fact spraying. So we're going to keep those unplugged for now, and we're going to install our actual race map, and then we'll go make sure everything's working, get data logs, and go from there. All right, so now that we have done our test map, confirmed that our injectors are spraying, we are going to close out of this and we are going to disconnect from the ECU. We are still key on right now, but what we're going to do this time is we're going to close the customer because we no longer want to use that file. We are going to click open customer again. Please do not click new customer because it will basically erase the file that you have loaded. And we're going to upload number C. This is our third map. So we're going to upload that. We are going to connect to our computer. We're going to go to maps, fuel maps, and again, we're going to write this data to the ECU. Again, this takes about 2 minutes, but once this is done, we'll be good to go get logs. All right, now that we have map C loaded up, we're gonna go get data logs, but to give you an idea, before, all of our fuel mapping was in this range here, basically from the 0.02 volts all the way out to about 1.5, and that's just for, you know, obviously that idle spray. But you can see now we have moved this table all the way up to the 3 volts, so that way it's once we hit a certain RPM and voltage, it's going to start to spray our injectors. So we're gonna go ahead, get new logs on this, make sure our air fuel ratios are where we want them to be, send this information over to the tuner, and then we'll be good to go. All right, you guys, the most important step before you go out and get your data logs, make sure your injectors are all plugged back in and ready to go with the split second. We are about to take this out. We're gonna get logs, so go ahead, watch till the end of the video. We're gonna do a few race logs, do a couple data logs, and send these over to the tuner. Now that we have gotten our split second fully loaded and our logs done, car's running great. We're able to see where it kicked on the port injection and send that information to our tuner. We're gonna wait for any revisions or logs, and then you guys will continue to repeat that process as your tuner will send you new maps for your split second controller. Split second controllers are back in stock. They are ready to ship. We're gonna have them heavily discounted for the first little bit, but once they're gone this next go around, they are gone for good, and we'll move on to the Reflex Lite. So grab your split second controller today along with your port injection kit, and let's go fast. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate you guys tuning into the Graveyard Performance channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're gonna be back next week with more media.